The administration is denying reports that DOGE is officially done. Darren Bertello joining us from Capitol Hill. All right, Darren. So what is happening at DOGE right now?
Good morning, Stuart. Well, the Trump administration simply right now what they're doing is denying reports that DOGE is actually dead, despite that mandate to decentralize the cost-cutting agency. Just 24 hours ago, Stuart, Reuters posting an article talking about this, saying it disbanded. And I want to take you to what exactly they said. They said this would be 8 months ahead of schedule, of course. It's supposed to happen at the end of July, or the beginning of July, actually. Also in the article, it says that the former DOGE employees have taken new roles in the administration. Scott Kapoor, director of the Office of Personnel Management, hitting back with this tweet saying, in part, Stuart, the truth is DOGE may not have decentralized leadership under or centralized leadership under USDS, but the principles of DOGE remain alive and well: deregulation, eliminating fraud, waste, and abuse, reshaping the federal workforce, making efficiency a first-class citizen. DOGE recently posted on X that agencies have terminated 78 contracts in the last 9 days, saving $335 million. On the DOGE website, as of today, they've estimated to save taxpayers $214 billion. Of course, that's a lot of money, Stuart, but still falls short of the original $1 trillion goal forecasted by the former leader of DOGE, of course, Elon Musk. Treasury data shows the U.S. added more than $2 trillion of debt since DOGE was formed back in January. But the bottom line here, Stuart, the Trump administration is continuing to work on these efficiencies with about $38 trillion in national debt. Stuart?
Darren, thanks very much indeed. And joining us now, Steve Moore. All right, Steve, Elon Musk initially set a goal of cutting $1 trillion. DOGE wound up cutting $214 billion. Was DOGE therefore a failure?
Well, Stuart, what happened was the empire fought back, and when you try to downsize government, you know, the government bureaucracy tries to do everything they can to prevent it. I think that Elon Musk deserves a Medal of Freedom and maybe even a Nobel Prize in economics for what he has done for our country. But it is true, you know, they wanted $1 trillion in savings, and they ended up with, what, about $250 billion. That's still a lot of money, Stuart. I mean, my goodness, that's larger than the entire budget of almost every state. So giant savings. I do not want DOGE to go away. I think President Trump should instill this in our government so we have at least one agency that's trying to cut costs rather than raise them.
Has DOGE cut the curve? I mean, is it now bending the curve down in terms of the deficit? If we're cutting so much spending, is that curve going down for the first time in a very long time?
Very little bit. Very little bit, Stuart. You know, when you're talking about a budget of $7 trillion, and you cut $250 billion, we need to do a lot more. I mean, look, we know one of the things that DOGE did that was a real contribution was basically pointing out how much waste there is in government. And they identified trillions of dollars of waste, Stuart. It's just that the agencies will not cut their budget. And not just the agencies, you need congressional help. You know, you need legislation to downsize the budgets of these agencies. We just had a big fight. The Democrats shut down the whole government in order to, prevent any cuts from happening. So this is a very difficult thing to accomplish. I think, you know, he came and tried to take on the bureaucracy. He had some success. But it's not like a private business where you can just go in and slash costs. That's not the way government works, and that's why we're running a $38 trillion national debt.
Some rosy forecasts, it seemed quite rosy, from Treasury Secretary Bessent. No recession next year, he said that. We have Kevin Hassett saying, look, we're going to boom year next year. I don't think he put a number on it, but we're going to have a very strong economy next year. Do you agree with all of that? No recession, and maybe 4.5% growth next year at some point? What do you think?
I am super bullish on the U.S. economy. The tax cut really starts to kick in next year, the big, beautiful bill. We're seeing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of investment capital flowing in. Trump says it's trillions. I think it's probably closer to, you know, hundreds and hundreds of billions. That's a lot of money to invest here. We're seeing an investment boom. Look, I'm with you and my buddy Larry Kudlow. You know, I think this is going to be a great economy next year. Everything, the table is well set. Whether I think 4.5% growth is is a big, big number. So I'm not going to go that high, but I'll tell you, I think we're going to between 3 and 4% growth. And Stuart, why is that important? Once you get above like 3 to 3.2% growth, you do start bending that curve of debt down because the economy grows faster than the debt. And that's essential to solving this fiscal crisis in Washington. So count me as, I'm going to say 3.5%. Okay?
Okay, we'll take it. Bend the curve. That's the name of the game. Steve Moore, thanks for being